You know, you might be wondering why, freak, why? He's going to tell us here tonight. He's going to tell us what maybe many are asking right now in the backyard wrestling circuit. We're also going to talk about why the freak might just be getting started. We're going to talk about now that he's a free agent, but also at the same time is no, you're not seeing things. He's a Reaper. He's a North Dakota Reaper, and you might want to say he'll give us some freak math on why he is a Reaper and why he won't be sewing anything when it comes to Queen Just Ice. He'll also talk about his former tag team partner, Showtime. He'll talk about the Alpha. He'll talk about Napalm. He'll talk about Riley Bates, and maybe he'll even talk about a Wilster, and who knows whatever else that this man has on his mind. And we'll also replay that historic tag team championship match that everybody's been talking about at Haunted Hellfest 5, which you must go watch on the LBYW YouTube page. We're going to show you that footage. We're going to talk about that. This man is chomping at the bits. We're going to give him that opportunity here very shortly to talk about that in prime time on the brightest heights, the biggest stage, the platform that he most certainly helped build alongside LBYW. Maybe I'll even mention some guy that calls himself the King of the West and the GOAT of BYW, but he hasn't met a psychotic freak. And he's going to certainly want to pay attention very closely to what this man has to say about him in a little while. But since this man has been anxiously waiting since Friday night to give his opinion on why, it is time now to give him that introduction. Plus, I will have a surprise for him and everybody else as we honor something in someone. But I'll save that surprise. I haven't shared that with anybody else here, and we'll get into that. But it is now time to start this show off in week here in style. And how fitting that you're here, because tomorrow is election day, and everybody's getting ready to elect here in New York City. We're electing a new mayor. Some states are electing new governors. Propositions are on the ballot. Faces of America were recently just elected, and we're even, I don't even know, talking about new governments within this country. But we're going to now give this man the opportunity and start this show off here in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one level radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado here on the Sports Report, number one level sports show, a man that is now the newest member of the North Dakota Reapers, and a man that has famously brought the freak math worldwide. His name is simply but the Psychotic Freak! The founder of Freak Math is here! My friend, how are we doing?
I could be doing a lot better if I wasn't in this stupid town known as Bismarck.
Well, you know what? You're going to stick to those words. I'm going to leave that at that. We don't want to get into whether we like or dislike it. We like everybody equally here on Sportswire Radio. It is good to see you. There is a lot to talk about here tonight, and I think I'm going to start off here pretty much for the burning question that everybody has been wondering in the backyard wrestling circuit, and especially when it comes to LBYW and why freak why?
Why? Do you know how abusive relation works, Tom?
I haven't been in one. Let me know.
Well, here's what happens. I tore down PBS single-handedly. I fought the Reapers. I gave, and what did I get in return? Nothing. So after the weak link known as the Wilster lost, the Alpha walked over to me. We had a nice private conversation, and he had this brilliant idea. It was a beautiful plan. It was to eliminate Justice. It was to eliminate the Frigid Vikings. And so far, have you heard from them since?
Well, they have the tag team championships, though.
Have you heard from them?
That would be a question that people would have to find out themselves. I mean, you're here right now. I mean, we'll put the footage up, but I mean, people are still wondering just why did you decide to do it? I mean, was this something you had been planning? You know, you talked about the Wilster. Obviously, he dropped the ball, as you kind of put it.
He's a weak link. No one cares about him.
Well, you know, you brought that up when you were here last, and we've kind of talked about this. You've been here now a few times the last few months. You've kind of been a regular of late, and you said this in the chat. You've said this here. So are you saying that the reason you're in the Reapers is because of the Wilster dropping the ball, or is there something more to that?
It's part of the reason. And I think I finally smartened up to realize the great plan that the Reapers have. It's destruction. It's absolute power.
They have talked about that here in the past, for sure. No question. Talk about that.
If I want a title match anytime, anywhere, I can get that.
Well, you had the tag team championships and you lost them. So when
I want more. I want all the power.
You want more. You want more. Okay, so you want more.
I'm tired of the disrespect I got from everyone, everyone, from Jenny to anyone. I always got booed, no matter what I did. I took it out PBS, I still got booed. But Justice could do anything. She could kill someone and she'd still get cheered.
Well, a lot of people, believe in, because she's always fought the good fight. She's always did things
That's
for the right
true.
reason. You and I, I'm going to get to that.
PBS.
Well, you and I had spoke the last time out, and we showed the match at War, and we showed that, I guess from your vantage point, she didn't want to tag you in. There was the back and forth. You walked out of the match. You came back. And, so there is that. I mean, do you think that maybe part of the divide that you've had with the LBYW fans has been Queen Just Ice, and that has been maybe the reason that you felt slighted by the fans in LBYW these past few years? Or what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I definitely felt slighted. No matter what I did, it wasn't enough. No matter and anything that Justice did, it was.
And you fought the Reapers throughout most of this year. I mean, we know what you went through last year to come back at Haunted Hellfest 4. And I guess you thought after everything you had done to fight the Reapers that you would have got more in return, and yet it wasn't to be.
No. And that's how bad this fan base is. They don't know what talent would look like if it hit them in the face. Simply put.
So let me get this straight. Now, you are maybe implying that the fans don't know talent with what's in front of them. I'm going to ask you another question to that. You tell me what your thoughts are on this. Are you saying maybe one of the reasons that LBYW is now no more is because the fans didn't know talent like the Psychotic freaking? Maybe if the fans had gotten behind you, there would have been more of a demand to keep LBYW going. And
that might be the smartest thing you said all day.
Well, we're not going to go there because then I'm going to cut you off. You don't want to do that. Listen, you know I like you. I'm going to give you the floor. You don't want to do that. Trust me. I've had celebrities on the platform. Well, I'm giving you a lot of rope tonight. That's no lie there. But that's what you're kind of telling me about the fans, though.
Yeah. If they would have known what talent looked like, the Reapers, Alpha, me, Riley Bates, we would have been around a lot longer. But because they don't know
Napalm as well. Napalm's a part of that.
Yeah, Napalm. If they would have realized that, we would have been around 5-6 years down the road. But because they don't know what talent looks like, they don't care. We're done. That's it. Game over.
So you have any regrets about this last year? Because it's been really, I mean, we'll get into the freak math in a minute, but it has been a roller coaster year for you. I mean, if you want to go back just before Haunted Hellfest 4 last year and what you went through, and this year now you had the tag team championships, you stole them, you won them, and then you lost them, but yet you joined the Reapers. So, I mean, you have any regrets about how this year went?
Yeah, I wish I would have joined the Reapers a lot sooner.
Interesting.
It would have made my whole life a lot easier. I wouldn't have gone.
You've had a very difficult life the last 2 years in LBYW. I don't think there's any disputing that whatsoever.
I would not have gone to jail. I would not. Probably would not have gone to the hospital a couple times.
You're like Baskin-Robbins.
I would not have gotten that fight. We'll talk about Showtime here in a minute.
Yes, I want to talk about your thoughts on him for sure.
But my life would have been a lot easier. A lot easier.
I guess then it's almost like, not to throw it out there, but it's almost like if you can't beat him, join him, or am I missing something on that?
Don't compare me to something like that. I joined because I got smarter.
You got smarter. And you got smarter in that you felt that there was a common goal between yourself, the Alpha, Napalm, and Riley Bates.
Yes.
Okay. But obviously that must bother you, though, what I just put up on the screen, which we're going to show. We're going to show that match, but that has to obviously be a little bit of a disappointment because you talked a lot about you were going to be a part alongside Showtime of being the final LBYW Tag Team Champions. You had certainly talked about the freak math and a number of things, but I mean, that has to disappoint you and bother you seeing that they won those titles.
I was close. I was this close. If Showtime was more of a factor in this match, we win. But he was insignificant. He was not even a factor in this match.
I would agree with that. I mean, but he was taken out early.
I had to do it all on my own. And I'm glad Showtime's gone. I don't need to deal with him anymore.
Well, before I get to the footage, so you're saying Showtime, right? We kind of had you as almost a Twin Towers of BYW. We saw what you guys in a short amount of time together had done, and there's no denying that you guys were in size one of the bigger teams in BYW. But you say good riddance to him. I'm kind of surprised.
I don't need him. I got a better team. I mean, Alpha, he's a world champion. Riley Bates, also a world champion.
Yeah.
We got Napalm, interstate champion.
Mm-hmm.
And now all I need is another title.
Right. But what would make you different than the Wilster? The Wilster had a championship. He was the face of America. He held the championship for about a year, almost a year and a half. What would be different from your point being in this group than the Wilster?
I can actually fight. What happened when Wilster could not have help? He lost. In 3 seconds? Was it something like that? 15 seconds?
I mean, I don't have the time in the score in front of me, but
it wasn't close. It was a sad performance. If you were there, you could hear a pin drop. We were expecting a brawl, the way that he was talking this up.
But you kind of hinted that was going to happen. You hinted it here in the past. Your battles with the Wilster have been documented. I mean, I've known you for 2.5
Yeah.
years, and
Yep.
that's been going on since then. So really, I mean, this was to be expected, no?
Yeah, it was expected, but it was also a shock at the same time. The way that he talked it up, he said that he was going to win. It was going to be a fight. I'm sure he mentioned that on
Yep.
his. You said it was going to be a fight. It wasn't a fight.
He guaranteed ending Kurt Adams' career. He talked about he was going to be the final, and he talked a lot about that, but it didn't happen. I mean,
It wasn't close. It wasn't close, and because of the lack of a fight that he put up, why should the Reapers keep him around?
Well, I think his career is. I mean, I'm sure he'll be on here in the next few weeks to talk about his side of the story, but I've decided to put the match up here because we have a lot to talk about with you, and we'll get to some people in the chat. And I mean, so let me ask you: have you gotten a chance to watch the match since it all took place on Friday?
I haven't. It's been. I've had to really process this. So this is the first I've really seen this.
Well, it's going to be interesting to watch along with you. Yet you haven't watched. Usually, guys usually come on and they've watched their stuff. But we see the Reapers. There they are. And at that going into this, they had also changed members. And Riley Bates has joined the group. And there we see Napalm. There we see the Alpha. And I mean, you had talked about Riley quite a bit on here in the chat. So interesting and such. And I mean, so what's your observation going into the match here, seeing that they're coming out first?
I'm glad they're coming out first because they're the number one. They're number one, obviously. We got the best alive in the 605. We got
although at this moment you're actually the incumbent, but I'll go along with it. But
he is the best alive in the 605.
No, I'm just saying that you're
one of the greatest people to come out of Oklahoma in Napalm. And and then we got the Alpha from the great city of Mobridge. Thank God they're not from North Dakota because we're not going to get into how bad this is. But I'm glad they came out to show what proper civilization looks like.
Okay, but going into this though, you couldn't be thinking, "Oh boy, they're." You may respect them as opponents or competitors, but you're still going into this match, I would imagine, expecting to be the final tag team champions, as you said on here a couple of weeks ago.
I was. I definitely was thinking.
Yeah, you had to be. Listen, you talked on here. You were here a couple of weeks ago. I mean, you still had to wanted to walk away with those tag team championships. You may be in the Reapers now, but still going into this match, and this is the main event. This is the last match in LBYW history. It's not just even for a tag team championship. It's the last match at the moment in LBYW history. That's the other thing too,
So if we were to win this match, I would have joined the Reapers regardless. I would have handed the belt to, I don't know who I would have handed the other belt to. I'm sure I could find someone. I would have kicked Showtime out. I should have won this match.
You should have. I mean, I mean, there was certainly some freak math as you guys were about to come out and such. And I mean, have you thought about what the freak math was and why you joined the Reapers?
I have.
Let's hear it.
So the freak math, here it is.
All right, let's go for it.
I had to write some of this down because it's hard to remember all of this. But here's the reason why I joined the Reapers. It's pretty simple. I was alone. My odds of victory were obviously at 89.2% because Showtime was nowhere to be found. You take the 89.3%, you multiply it by the Reaper coefficient of destruction. That's a solid 3.2. Then you factor in Napalm's intensity. That's roughly 66.6%. Then you divide that number of survivors left in that division. How many is that? Goose eggs. And then what do you get? You get Freak plus the Reapers That is 999% chance of domination. That is plain, simple math. You can learn that in college algebra. You can learn that in Algebra 1. Heck,
That's why kids are struggling in math these days, right? That's why
they just
can't.
don't learn that.
They probably don't.
I broke the formula, Tom. I broke it.
You know what? Forget about E equals MC squared. Forget about pi. That's obvious why you joined the Reapers. I could certainly see why. And we'll go back to the match, and we're about to start. And if you are here on Sportzwire Radio, we are here with the newest member of the North Dakota Reapers. His name is Psychotic Freak, and he just gave us freak math. And if you're here on Sportswire, maybe we'll play the freak math for it.
As for the freaking Vikings, they have at best a 12% chance.
Let's go!
At best, they have a bad teammate, an identity crisis, and because I watched Apollo 13 one time, I'm a rocket scientist.
Jesus. Obviously.
And now that we have Showtime, we have a 500% chance of winning this match because we are playing by freak rules. If he wants to sing the national anthem, by God, let him. What?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to go into that, but obviously Apollo 13, I remember that movie as a little boy, and it was a really long movie, and that's the last time I think I'll get an Apollo 13 reference on Sportswire for the foreseeable future, but we're here. Yeah, I really do, because that movie, I remember it. I was a little baby, Apollo 13, and my dad talked about it was 3.5 hours long. I was like the Oppenheimer of the 90s. But enough about that. Let's talk about how this is all unfolded. It's a Donnybrook. But listen, I know you talked about Showtime basically being inferior in this match, but if I'm your opponent, that's kind of the smart tactical move. That's basically...
Yeah, I suppose it was the smart move, but that's weak on Showtime's part.
Well, what is he to do though? There's like, was it 1, 2, 3, 5-on-1 practically?
Throw him all over that railing.
He's strong enough. But I mean, listen, it's
the 10-foot drop. They're not coming back.
Oh, but he's down on the ground. What is he supposed to do? I mean, he would be hoping you would help him a little bit.
And I want to point out, when you turned up the volume during that freak math segment, you listened to the boos I got? Did you
I heard them. Yeah, people were not.
That is what we were talking about, all that disrespect I got. That's a combination of all the last few years. How much I'm hated. And because Justice in this match, she could do no wrong. She could have joined the Reapers and she would have been cheered.
Yeah, but people believed in her. She's always fought hard. I mean, the fans people, it's like Baskin Robbins. There's 31 flavors, right? People like different flavors, and they seem to have taken a liking to her because of what she's always fought, for the most part, the good fight. And also, one thing that you and I talked about when you were here last was that they were fighting for something bigger than what you guys were, and that was Sistine. You knew what that meant to Ragnarok. You knew how hard they were going to fight. And sometimes there are things that we can't control, and that might have just helped them, aside from Showtime basically being rendered, inferior. But, I mean, that's, I think, a part of what we talked about here a few weeks ago.
Yeah. You were right. I'll give you credit where credit is due. You were right. It may have not been Ragnarok with all his magic.
No.
Justice is certainly something to be reckoned with at Hellfest.
What do you think about that? Because, everybody talked about in WWE, the Undertaker and the streak, right? The Undertaker in WrestleMania, but it seems like she, in Just Ice, has been that for Haunted Hellfest. She has become Miss Haunted Hellfest. What does that say to you, and what do you?
It pisses me off because I should have been Mr. Hellfest. Let's go over this. Hellfest 1, I won the U.S. title in that triple threat match.
Yep.
Okay. Hellfest 2, I think I missed. Right. I think I
didn't lose. You didn't lose in that one. You didn't lose in that one.
Hellfest 3,
we had 4 last year. 4, you came back after the injury. After you remember, you were here in the next place.
3, I beat Wilster.
Yes, because Wilster had
I beat Showtime.
Yes, I was. We were here for 3. We were here for 3. 4 was last year with what happened with the neck brace. You came back against Showtime, and 5, you were going into it with the tag team championships.
And I was this close at winning. I was this close.
Well, I mean, but you didn't win it, though. I mean, you didn't win, and he was eliminated already. And that's what are we? We're 4 minutes into the match, like 4 minutes in, and that's it.
If I could run this match back, I think I could. I think I would beat her. 1-on-1, I think I could beat her. I know I could do it.
Does that bother you that you didn't get that opportunity? I mean, because we're going to show why, though. What happened where everybody was wondering why Freak Wyatt in a different scenario? Because it seemed like you were going to be rendered out of action and such. I mean, that was another thing, which we'll get to probably in about, I'd say 10 or 12 minutes from now. But
Yeah.
you were taking some, listen.
I took some shots.
No gain. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're talking light poles. We're talking tables, garbage cans, shopping carts.
Boy,
This
it
was
reminds me. I
definitely
once
the most
worked in
brutal match in
I worked
LBW history.
market for 5 months, the Psychotic Freak, and this reminds me of when it was Truck Day and people were up out and about. But thankfully, I don't need to work in a supermarket. But I'm here right now on Sportswire. But there we go, and it's definitely unfolded, and you're definitely taking some punishment, and in front of a crowd, no less. And yeah, it's going to hurt. That's going to leave a mark. I know you may be allies with Riley Bates now, but that's going to leave a mark we can hear not just from the 605, but the 718 here in New York.
Yeah. I still have the mark on the back of my head. So from other instances.
So he marked his territory, as they would say. But she's a fighter. I'll tell you what, she's a fighter, and that. You fought through a lot, but she fights time and time again against the odds. That's the one thing. If you look at her run in LBYW, she fights. The Reapers had 3. There was you and Showtime, and it was just her and Ragnarok. And Ragnarok, if you think about it, was kind of like Showtime. He was rendered useless. He wasn't much.
Yeah.
He wasn't much of a factor in the match, as you correctly pointed out.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun with this toy.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, Halloween came early for you, and Christmas is early as well in between. But yeah, happy Halloween and Merry Christmas all in one.
Yes, that one of my favorite toys is the chicken wire.
I think it's the first and last I'll see it, but I'll give you all the credit.
God, this hurts to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first time. Listen, it's the first time you watched. That's why I was so curious to ask: had you watched the show before, and you at least the match? And you said you hadn't. That's why I could see why.
I had to take this all in. I probably should have, rewatched this footage and see what went wrong.
No, listen. Sometimes people don't do that. I mean, there's, I get people on all the time.
What we're going to see here shortly is if I connect on that table, the match is completely different. Justice doesn't move. I don't get hurt the way I did. We get a different outcome.
But that's unfortunately, listen, everybody's talking about the World Series, right? That took place on Saturday. And the Blue Jays.
The game of inches, the game to play at the plate.
Game of inches. Listen, even in the 9th inning, listen, Ernie Clement hits a ball that Vladimir Guerrero hits a ball right at the edge of the track, right? We're talking about the Toronto Blue Jays as World Series champions to play at the plate, right? It was a matter of inches. Sometimes it's like that in our sport of wrestling that we all love. And that's, for you, that was your Toronto Blue Jays moment, but that's why you're here. Look, I thought you were going to walk away with those titties. I'm going to be honest. I thought after what you said on your last appearance here that you would have walked away as the final LBYW Tag Team Champion one hand. Especially because you had possession of the title on here. You won it a few months ago. You talked about that. You talked about why you walked out on your teammates, Kurt Adams, Ragnarok, Justice. You talked about all that. I would have thought you would have walked away with those belts, but like you said, it's a matter of inches, but that's why we're talking about her. Is the finality. That's the thing that you're going to wind up thinking about most. It's finality, but right now, I mean, there's not much thinking here because it is a Donnybrook, and we're here with the Psychotic Freak, and my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all music and wrestling matters, and if you're here on Sportzwire Radio, hit the sub button for us, and we will also make sure to plug our friends in LBYW. You can support them on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and we're here with the Psychotic Freak, and we're watching the final match in LBYW history at the historic Haunted Hellfest 5, which took place this Friday on Halloween. And Ragnarok is definitely not trick-or-treating anytime soon after what he's going through. And you're out there, and I mean, boy, just how are you fighting the darkness there? I mean, the darkness.
It was really hard to see. This was a very hard match to maneuver. Because how hard it was to see.
I could see.
You could probably see about 2 people in that crowd. I think there was like 35 people out there. And
I was just saying, you guys got another big crowd. I mean, the crowd was there. There's no question that you guys got a crowd, but you can't see anything. Reminds me of when I go out. Sometimes you need one of those night lights or one of those. They have them. If you ever work in a ditch or if you work outside and they have one of these things you flip on your head, but you're going to need one of those next time you wrestle one of these situations. But right now it's all just coming apart here. And you're out there. What are you thinking? What are you waiting for right now?
Wow. I when this happened, I was kind of, when he hit him with the light tube, I was kind of over the stage. I heard the glass break. I just didn't know who got hit. So I actually thought Ragnarok got hit with the glass.
Well, that's going to hurt. Yeah, that was toward the Alpha is definitely going to feel that. And there's Justice walking gingerly, napalm. I mean, it's almost like you guys are, listen, it's almost like a war there. Literally, it's just, we should have renamed this Haunted Hellfest War, almost like last month's war show. But right now, you guys.
Yeah, you could have. I mean, look at the opening match was a war between Riley and CJ.
Yep. How about Will? We talked about Wilster and Kurt Adams. Not much to say there. Were you surprised about the mutual respect? Were you surprised about that?
I thought Will became probably the dumbest person on the planet after that.
Really?
Yeah. He talked all this game. He talked about how great the Reapers are, how great he is, and that Kurt Adams is as dumb as a box of rocks. And then he goes, you know what? You deserve to be the face of America. You're the better man. Where did that come from?
Do you think maybe it's because this was the finality and this was it? And maybe it's the Wilster being the face of America realized that, like any good champion or former champion, it's time to pass the baton? Or no, you don't think that was...
No, of course not. The Wilster of old would have never done that. Win, lose, or draw.
Yeah, he's always been in rare form here. He's been here many times the last few years, 2.5 years. And I was caught taken aback. I would give you that much, but maybe he felt it was time to be classy and show a sign of respect and pass the baton. Listen, I've been in, as most people know, I've been in the world of politics, and I never forget famously, I had worked for an elected official on his campaigns, and one of the things he said after he lost, and he lost by a few votes, he said, we have to pass the baton. And maybe that's the same thing for what the Wilster felt. He had to pass the baton to Kurt Adams. And, I'll ask him that question when he comes on here soon. I'm sure maybe you won't be tuning in, but nevertheless, I'll ask him that question. But I guess he felt it was time to show a sign of respect.
I mean, I guess, but the Will I know would have never done that.
Wow.
You
broke it into his home.
You could say
you went to jail in part because of him.
Yin and yang. You need us both.
So you think it was all an act all this time? Do you think that the Wilster lied like most politicians? Do you think that the Wilster lied like every other politician? Because, you made a good point. You talked about how he said all this, He talked this game, and maybe, like any politician, he spoke with both sides out of his mouth.
You're probably right. I think he tried to build all this confidence up, even though he knew he couldn't get the job done. So he made him sound scarier than he actually was.
And Kurt Adams exposed him. What you're saying?
Yeah.
Almost like a bully. You saying that Wilster was like a classic bully?
Yeah. He's your middle school bully. It makes me wonder why I had such a tough time at Hellfest 3 against him.
Maybe you just, I guess, it was all in your mind because of his psychology. Because deep down, he couldn't compete with a guy like Kurt Adams. Kurt Adams has been in there with some really big names,
Maybe. He's been in there.
But you're no Kurt Adams fan. But you don't like Kurt Adams.
No. Kurt Adams is a bum. Maybe I want that title. Maybe that would think everyone would have a title in the Reapers again.
Interesting. So you think that you should be the face of America? Let me get this straight for the audience.
That sounds beautiful.
You think for those out there that you should wind up being the face of America, and it's not Kurt Adams, not the guy that wears flannel, not the guy that goes out there and does things or bangs to his own drum. You, the psychotic freak, should be the face of America. I mean, after all, there's so many issues, so many problems in this country right now, whether it's foreign policy, tariffs, whether it's economy, whether it's what people feel about government policies.
We could use freak math and how to solve this country. It would be pretty simple. Just use some freak math. Bada bing, bada boom. We're done.
So you feel the freak math is what this country needs. You'll make
what we need.
Make students learn math again. That's what you'll do. You'll make them learn math.
That's my slogan. Make students learn math again.
Well, you know what? I guess the freak math is what you should be. Why that face of America? I guess we'll have to find that out. I mean, that's a rather interesting point. But we'll go back to the match and obviously you're getting a beating. You're all taking a beating here. We'll get to the chat in a few minutes. We're about 10 or so minutes away from the end of the match, and we'll talk about some different things. But you guys are definitely going out with a bang, as they might want to say.
Yeah, we definitely went out with a bang. I don't know how much longer the Alpha is going to be standing.
Well, you made sure of that. I mean, you certainly made sure of that, and you looked back at him, and yes, some guy joining the Reapers, because at this moment, I mean, we still think you could win this match, and Napalm's taking a beating. And by the way, in his own right, also had double duty. Interesting how so many had double duty. Shouldn't you guys have been favored to win this match?
This pissed me off right here.
Yeah.
When she stole that pin, after I did that curb stomp, she stole my own pin. It pissed me off.
You think that was intentional?
I think it was 100% intentional.
So maybe that's why she was sending a message to you?
Possibly.
Have you ever spoken to her about things like that?
After war, I tried to speak to her and she just stormed out.
Well, we're about to see the spot you referred to is why things could have been different. We're about to see it. This was obviously a spot last year at the table, and you're looking at the Alpha, and here's Just Ice. And I mean, what are you thinking right now?
I think what my idea was, I was like, let's do it. Let's show them what we can be.
Right.
Let's end her career right here. Get her through this table. But
yeah, I mean, so far so good. You guys are putting a number on her. 2-on-1 should be no problem. Should be freak man. Should be an easy job to do.
Yeah. We had her down, and I don't know why she decided, let me move at the last possible second.
Well, smart move on her part.
I could have set my leg in half. That's a dangerous thing.
Well, I mean, you gave her a little bit of time, and obviously, we're seeing her, and the Alpha's, he's doing the right thing, but you're giving her time. You're giving her time to get out, and here we go. And no! Oh my God! The freak back there says No mas. Whoa. Yeah, that was just. We're going to want that one back. And there's the doctor. Doctor on site. And at this point, it seemed like you were done. You were out of commission and you were going to be out of the match. And those tag team championships are just shocking. I mean, just shocking what you did. Let's replay that for our audience because obviously everybody is wondering just on this here as we're coming toward the end of the match. But, we're watching it and we'll come back a little bit faster. And, okay, so we're obviously looking at, we're going to go one more time. There we go. Okay, so obviously we got where we want. And should be over. This should be over. It should be an easy thing. She's eliminated. You've gotten what you wanted. She's been a thorn in your side for months. You obviously feel she's the reason the LBYW faithful have not taken to you the way you should have after all you've done for this company, all that you've done to fight for the fans, whether it was taking on PBS, whether it was taking on the Reapers, and you were about to get just ice. You were about to get your desserts and finish somebody once and for all, finality. But she is, after all, Miss Haunted Hellfest. And we're about to see it and batter up. And almost like Vladimir Guerrero there, where he hit that ball and it was this close. Close. And you were this close. And close don't count because you're down and out. And then the doctor comes in and, even Chris Aruda comes out there and looks. Chris Aruda, obviously, or sometimes general manager here in LBYW, but,
he gets a lot of blame. I think he did okay officiating.
So you feel Aruda was okay in this spot?
I thought he did okay during the whole show. It wasn't just this match.
Aruda always, listen, if he didn't sign Scary Terry, maybe his runs looked back a little differently. But obviously you should be down and out, and the Alpha's trying to take advantage. You're on the shelf, what appears to be for an injury to take you out, and the Alpha's looking to capitalize, and I don't blame him. Add another championship to his arsenal, and he's found something there in the trash can, and he's going to use it. I don't blame him. And this should be over. It should be all for naught, but she finds a way. She's a fighter. She's definitely a fighter. She's got heart. And there's just throws her down. Maybe the emotions, I hate to say, but maybe Sistine was
a player. She was a player in this match, if you will.
She was. She's been a player in many of her matches, but maybe Sistine deep down was watching this match and wanted it for her friend Ragnarok. Maybe that's a part of it. I really go back to that,
Yeah. As you said, start to show off, or you said that tragedy sometimes lights a spark.
It does.
In simpler terms, you said something along the lines of that.
Yeah, sometimes there's something that we can't necessarily say or speak on what it is, but it helps us. And it gives just there's the wrestling god. There's the thing called the wrestling god. There's a thing called a higher power. And I think Sistine wanted it for them. And you should have been finished, but you're back out there. What on earth are you doing? I thought you were done. Finito.
This was too big to not fight. I needed to win this.
Even if risking a serious injury, concussion, risking just permanent disability after everything you've went through. But I guess that's why you decided to come back out.
And then she steals another pin of mine.
But maybe what else is she supposed to do?
That was my pin.
But it's a competition.
Whatever.
It's competition. What are you supposed to do? But now, forget about it. It's you and her. That's it to decide that championship that you've talked so much about. And now you've got your hands on Just Ice, and you take her outside, and you are definitely a psychotic freak. Definitely you're not. Maybe you should come out to Rick James. She's a super freak, because you are definitely a super freak. Because I'll tell you that.
Maybe I should.
You should, but don't do it because copyright issues. Because famously, MC Hammer sampled that and wound up paying a lot of money because he didn't give the credit, and that's probably why he went bankrupt. And we don't want you to go bankrupt. But you're going out there. You've literally, physically, are close to bankrupt because you've dealt through a lot in this match. But you wouldn't, like you said, you're fighting, and boy, you are definitely locked in right now. You were in a zone. You were a zombie-like. You were a zombie-like on Haunted Hellfest 5. Should have been over. What are you waiting for? You should have just found a way to get a pin, drag, or you're just giving her time. I mean, you're the veteran. You know what to do in this.
I want to get her in that. I want to get her in that tramp. I want to finish this.
But you're giving her time, don't you? You have to look at this and say, I gave her too much time. You're giving her time to give her. Don't let up. Don't let up. Keep attacking her.
Looking back, I did give her a little bit too much time.
I talk about this all the time.
We talk about the table spot.
Yep.
And we talk about that right there.
Table spot. How about there? You had her down. You locked in right, Sister Abigail, and should have been going right back on her to the attack, and you gave her a chance to get back up. Listen. What do we say all the time on here? Never give your opponent an opportunity to come back, and that's what you did. And she's now got the upper hand, and she's dragging you back to where you should have just dragged it. You got the size advantage, but nevertheless, here we go. We're getting toward the end of the match, and she's just how fitting. Got a pumpkin, and she throws it at you, and you got to figure out what to do. And I don't know.
And and there's nothing I can really do. She's gonna hit me with the few.
That's it.
Yeah. And
you're down there, that clothesline. Listen, I would feel it from here. And you're getting dragged, and you could see it looks like Ragnarok is cheering her on, and just the LBYW faithful. And I mean, that's gonna be it. And you find a way, though. But you find a way. Should have been it. But you get one. You get another crack. You fought through so much. It wasn't going to be that easy. But the Freak Man says you still have a shot. Freak Man says you still have a shot.
There's always a chance.
That's a good point. Listen,
if I want to flip a coin 100 times and I say it's going to be heads 100 times in a row, there's always a slim chance.
Listen, right now everybody's big on predict it with Election Day, and there's a chance that some people bet the other way. But you were fighting, and you're going to give it everything you got. And just look at two mainstays of this company just fighting it out. Just fighting it out till they have no more. It's almost down the stretch they come. Down the stretch they come. And you're looking for it. And you're gonna use it. And you know what? I don't blame you. You don't blame you. And you would think that's going to be it. That's going to be the end of it. Here we go. Another opportunity for you. And you just, boy, there was some personal satisfaction. You did say it was going to be personal. You said last time out here, it was personal between you and her. I could see it there. See it. Yeah, just, oof.
Just.
Oh, but you waited one too many. One too many, and now you're being choked out, and she's got you right where you don't want to be.
No,
right where you don't want. Another one.
To be in this situation against her.
You just didn't want to. You gave her an opportunity. Now you're in the middle of the ring. You have nowhere to go. There's nobody else out there, and she's fighting for Sistine. She's fighting for something that's a greater good, and I just think that this is going to be. It was all too much. It was all she wrote. That is how the final match in LBYW history is ended. And that is your new tag team champions, those Frigid Vikings, who win it. And they win it for Sistine, the late great Sistine Danielson, only at the age of 20. But she was looking up, and she wanted them to win. You had your opportunities despite what you went through. And this has gotta just hurt to watch, literally. And then you're looking at them, and obviously the right thing to do would be to just, move on like the Welster, pass the baton off, and just shake hands and just do the right thing and just let LBYW end the way it should be. But wait a minute. There's sharks, pariahs circling the LBYW ring, and there is those Reapers. And yeah, Ragnarok and just as just too much for them. The Alpha, the LBYW champion, the SBW champion. Riley Bates from the 605, and then you've got Napalm, the USA champion. They are just pounding. They are pounding on those frigid Vikings, and those frigid Vikings are going to turn. Well, they're going to turn and become frozen, because frigid turns into frozen. And wait a minute, you just did that. You just did that. Wow, no. Why, freak? Why?
We talked about it.
Why?
It was the abusive relationship from that crowd. How awful have they been to me the last few years?
Stand, and you're just going back and forth at them, going back at the crowd, fighting a crowd that you've had a rather complicated relationship with those years here in LBYW, and going back at them, but they didn't have anything to do with this. The right thing to do, some would have said, just what the Wilster had done earlier. Pass the baton off. But you didn't do that. You're going back out there and yelling at the LBYW faithful. The legions of LBYW fans who came out to see this historic show. And now you've joined the people that you've been fighting for years in the Alpha and Napalm, and going back at the faithful. This is just... I mean, you've done some memorable things on here. Went to jail. You've nearly been killed. You've been into, a psychiatric institute. But this definitely caught people, and they caught by surprise. Understandably, you standing there with Napalm, Riley Bates, the one and only Riley Bates in the Alpha, standing with them. Just,
isn't it beautiful? Isn't this beautiful?
The fans don't seem to be too thrilled.
Oh, I love this view. My best friend in the world.
Joining the people that, and you're going to listen, we haven't seen something like this since Hogan, Bash at the Beach, Cena earlier this year, Elimination Chamber, and Sean Jovi was here on Thursday, and we know what happened with him after what he did to his big brother, Soldier GP, and Justin Parsley, and then also to the famous rap star Tone DeBoss, and you are in the same category, doing the same thing to a faithful that had been mostly behind you. And you had your moment, just like Hogan did Bash at the Beach, Cena, and there you are, mouthing off at the fans, and you have now joined a new reimagined and a bigger, more dominant and badder, destructive North Dakota Reapers, and you are part of that. You are now a part of that, and that's you there.
This is the greatest sight in backyard wrestling, probably. the
fans are certainly not too thrilled, and obviously, yeah, we see Jen. Jen ain't too thrilled. I could see it, and boy, it's cold out there, and I'm in shorts right now still, and you guys are freezing. But you know what? And just
get her out of here. Get her out of here.
Well, we're gonna take the footage off. I do have something, but we'll come back to that, obviously, because that does kind of go off into the end of LBYW. But if you are here, I do want to give a plug to LBYW. I want to put it up here on the screen, because if you are out there and you have a chance, hit the sub button for LBYW. We're going to get to the chat shortly. I'm going to get to some comments, because some comments might be a little bit out of context, but we'll leave that at that. Yeah, we'll leave that at that. We want to stick to the positives. I want to stick to the positives. But if you are there, that is the LBYW YouTube page. I would highly recommend that you give them a sub and find out where some of these talents are going. And we're here with the Psychotic Freak. And that is the LBYW YouTube page. All right, let's get to some comments. Some people want to talk to you, want to give them the opportunity before we talk about a few other things. Zilla would like to say hello. Thank you, Zilla. Jade is here, who obviously is a big Justin Parsley fan, and that's Thursday. We're going to leave that at that. Speaking of people that have their 2 cents, that is the Welster. You have disrespected and tore apart the backyard wrestling circuit.
I brought backyard wrestling up, if anything.
That's what Sean Jovi said on Thursday about the Underground, how he's brought the Underground wrestling circuit back by what he did. You say you've brought the backyard wrestling circuit back. And why do you say that for the audience?
Listen, the Reapers are going to go worldwide, possibly. I mean, look at us. We are on a path of destruction.
Yeah.
There's probably no one that's going to stop us.
No, it's funny you said that, because you mentioned one name in particular that you went after in that footage we just saw, and that's a guy that's actually not too far from you, not too far, relatively speaking, compared to some other names. And he's a guy that calls himself, and I referred to this earlier when I introduced you, he refers to himself as the King of the West, the GOAT of BYW, and his name is Comatose. Comatose is a guy that's going to be back on Sportswire. He's a promo wrestling champion. He's at one time held 3 championships at the same time in backyard wrestling. And you mentioned his name, and I'm curious into why you specifically mentioned Comatose.
Comatose is beneath me. I mean,
Really?
listen, Comatose. No one knows where you are. You're in like the potato area. No one knows where that's at.
He's a butcher, actually, but close enough. He is a butcher.
Oh, cool. Congrats.
Well, you're a psychotic freak. I mean, you attempt to butcher people, but he butchers people for a living. So
that's something. I guess that's something that we have on the same page.
Mhm.
Eventually, I will break down the freak math for him on how I will dismantle him.
So you want to meet this guy? You think you want to meet him?
I think I do. I think I could take Comatose down easily.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. He's gonna be back on here very soon, or in the next week or so, and I'm gonna remind him about what you just said about him.
Yeah, I'll be in chat. I'll be in chat.
So you really are insistent upon meeting this guy and not just meeting him for a promo battle. Because your freak math, you would think, would have the upper hand when it comes to a promo battle.
Obviously, freak math is almost undefeated.
but it'll be Comatose, is what you're saying.
Yes, this time Comatose will feel the wrath of freak math, and he won't stand a chance against the odds. The odds will be.
The odds are against him, right? The odds are against him.
Yeah, and I may even have the Reapers with me. If I had the Reapers with me, that brings my odds up even more.
I mean, he's got friends too, though.
I'm not worried about that.
No.
No.
Why don't you just? So you think you'll meet him maybe one-on-one sometime?
There's a possibility. There's a possibility.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to find out. We'll certainly see. Comatose is a guy that won't back down. He'll have his way of responding, and I'll be curious to see how that goes. We'll get to that soon. The face only a mother could love. That's his words, not mine. Thank you, Zilla, and hello. Omen Black's not a fan of yours, but that's okay. I want to say hello to my buddy, the Tribal Cheese, who's up at 2:43 in the morning when he commented. He'll be back on here. I'm going to have plenty of free time after tomorrow, so I'll be back probably on some afternoons, and we may have to get him on. He's a big star in the world, also like yourself. Big guy, very big guy. Yep, we'll get him back on, and could maybe the surprise be a damn jail cell? No, that's not the surprise I have. But need my profile picture back. Well, I know it's the Tribal Cheese, and if you are here, do me a favor. Go support him. He has been a longtime supporter of mine, been on here many times on Sportswire, and he's almost at 5,000 subscribers. So if you have a chance, do me a favor, hit the sub button for him. He's friends with Cody Rhodes, John Cena. He's hung out with Oasis. Oasis is had the biggest tour around worldwide. They were here, they were there, and he knows everybody. And he's also been a pretty good wrestler once upon a time. He's done shoot fighting. He's really interesting guy. He knows a lot about movies, and I'll bring him back on before the year is out. He's due for an appearance, but hit the sub button for him. He's almost at 5,000 subs, so you'll have a lot in common with him. But let's get to some more comments, but shall we? Also, Kurt Adams has earned and deserves to be the new face of America.
No. He beat you in 15 seconds. That nothing's earned about that.
Well, he won though. I mean, he did win the match.
Oh, congratulations! You were in a 15-second match. I was in a 30-minute match.
Well, I mean, look, you were in a long match. I would agree with you on that. I would definitely agree with you on that. Omen is not a fan of you, but that's okay. Hello. Yeah, obviously, we'll get to some other comments. I'm not an Atlanta Braves fan, so no, I'm not a Braves fan. But we'll move on. We'll get to some more comments. Thank you, Jade. The Wilster Zilla is still on the Wilster side, and he also wants to say earlier that he was champion for over a year.
Hmm.
Not impressed.
Yeah, he was.
And also the Wilster, by the way, this is a question I was going to ask, and Zilla brought it up. And he says that he sees things differently, and they've been doing things the wrong way, the disrespectful way. And maybe he's changed. Maybe, like you said, maybe it was all an act.
The Reapers will get the job done no matter the cost. And Will, you need to learn that way. Again, I don't. Maybe we just need to break into your house again. I mean,
well, now that he's not the incumbent anymore, there won't be protection there.
Yeah.
He obviously doesn't like what you said about the fans.
Who cares?
And hello to Riley. Riley would like to say hello. Thank you, Riley.
Hey, Riley, what's going on?
Well, I mean, you could watch a lot of LBYW's footage, but I mean, it's no longer going to be an active company. But no, we're not blaming you, Zilla. He's talking about the fans in the building, and Omen Black don't like you. I think the Freak is blaming the fans, which is the low-hanging fruit. What do you say about that?
It's not low-hanging fruit. It's true. Well, how long have they booed you? And then you go around and go, yeah, you know what? Maybe they were right.
Maybe he saw things differently.
Match, Will, they still booed you.
You know what? And now he says, "Well, I'm shocked. Boy, things change. They certainly change." And were you blaming? Do you blame Showtime for the way things went?
Yes, I will blame Showtime. He was insignificant. He was a lack of a help. I had to do it all on my own.
You did make that phone call to him months ago. He helped.
I guess.
But he was taken out in many matches, and that's maybe what you felt. But he was being taken out because of his size. He's the biggest guy in BYW. He's literally the biggest in size.
Yeah. So Scary Terry, he's the second biggest, but he's a weak link.
Scary Terry, though, I think is one of those, we've said this many times on here, is like biggest draft bust in like sports history. He's like biggest draft bust in BYW history. That's all on Chris Arruda. So, I mean, we're not going to go down that road.
I was going to bring up something. Will and I are like yin and yang. We're two opposites.
Pretty much.
Throughout history, you always have yin and yang. And now they switched.
Yeah.
But,
well, I'm going to skip some comments in the interest of being respectful, but I will get to this comment. I'm still a big fan of the North Dakota Reapers no matter what, and I still love, respect, and appreciate the North Dakota Reapers. Also, sad performance. I lost to the greatest performer I've ever been in the ring with. And yes, I'm man enough to admit I underestimated him, and now I have nothing but respect for him. He deserves it.
15 seconds, man. That's all you had. That's all you had in the tank. You're talking about being the king of the South, the greatest of all time, the last real LBYW U.S. champion.
Well, I guess his luck ran out.
He didn't have the help.
Luck ran out.
Yeah,
we may bring him on either this Sunday or next Sunday. It's either one of those days.
Okay.
So you'll be here for sure for that, I'm sure. Let me move on. And Zilla says she's still an honorary member of the North Dakota Reapers. I guess so. I mean, I guess if you want. I kind of want it to be Thursday. Well, we're here now, and okay, let's go on here. Move on to some other comments. Also, thank you. Well, before we do that, I agree with the Psychotic Freak that the Psychotic Freak should be the face of America instead of Kurt Adams. So really, I mean, that's something that's on your radar, I suppose.
Yeah, but maybe I will if I get around to it.
Okay. Jen, who you definitely went back and forth with earlier in the Haunted Hellfest that we saw, said, "Evening, gentlemen, and good to see the Loser Freak back on Sportswire Radio." Not a fan.
See, this is what I'm talking about. No matter what I did, she still booed me.
Well, she felt the way she felt, and a lot of the fans do feel that way. And I did want to, for the audience, because she mentioned it, I wanted to put up the tribute in the background, which we'll get to some more comments in a minute and talk to you about a few more things. But obviously, we're going to show that very, very well done tribute to Sistine, and just just going way too soon. And thank you, Sistine, for everything. And just someone that was a pillar of our community. And yes, absolutely sending thoughts and prayers to Sistine. And just what a person. Obviously somebody that I know means so much to people. And that's what you hate to see, is those that were taken away far too soon, way too young. And we said it last time, but we want to certainly extend our condolences and prayers to the family and everybody impacted by this young woman who didn't get a chance to do the things that so many of us have had the opportunity to do. And that's one of the worst things is to talk about on here all the time. And I know I'm breaking the fourth wall for a minute, and I have something I want to get to shortly, but this is somebody that when we think about just all the things we get to do in life, she only scratched the surface, but yet her memory will live on. Her memory will be one that we will always honor and thank Sistine for everything that she's done. And you could see in the pictures and the memories of her that her memory will remain, and that God is definitely taking care of Sistine and her family, and she's at peace, and she's with her grandparents, reunited with them, and she's reunited with those that care about her, and she's looking back down, smiling at how LBYW eulogized and did this nice tribute package for her. And it's also why, if I could shortly get to something that I like to give to the family of Sistine, and obviously, we can't, do anything to bring her back. We can only do our best to honor this young lady and everything that she has been a part of. She was a fabric of our community, was very involved, loved the animals, loved people, loved life, as you can see. And, only 20 years old, not even 21. She's going to be 21 years old. She's going to be 21 years old. And she was just a few months away from that. And that's the unfortunate part. But the best we can do is try to honor this young woman. And obviously I'd like to do that here, which is why I like to present my screen for everybody here. And I hope that her family would take this, because it is Sistine Danielson Day on all Sportswire radio platforms. So, hopefully we can pass this along to management and LBYW so we can give that to the family. And, we definitely want to thank everybody that did the nice package, and also want to put her in our thoughts and prayers. And I realized that, I never met Sistine Danielson, and I didn't know her, but obviously very impacted and devastated about the loss, and how this young lady was only 20 years old. And the least we'd like to do here is to honor her memory and presence, and give her this physical copy, which we will do. And I just wanted to break the fourth wall for a minute. And thank you, Sistine. And we want to continue to keep her friends and family in our prayers. And thank you to everybody for letting us have a moment there. But, if you're here, hit the sub button for LBYW. And, also the Tribal Cheese. Please do that. Acknowledge him. And yeah, but Kurt Adams was told the United States is coming back to North Dakota. Well, I guess so. But Hubie Jenkins, the high authority of the EWA, is here. Thank you, Hubie. Anyways, she would like to say hello. Thank you. Also, the Hall of Fame monitor of Sportswire Radio, Mr. Justin Parsley, wanted to say, who's here Thursday night, by the way, 9:00. He's praying for her friends and family, and his deepest condolences. Thank you. And she was 20 years old. She was going to be 21 in September. That's just really, really so sad. 20 reminds me, Mr. Freak, it was about 10 years ago. There was a girl that lived here on Staten Island, and she died in a boating accident. She was about 20 years old, a young girl, and it was somebody's boat went loose, and she was riding her bike, and the boat unfortunately crashed into her, and she was killed right on the spot. Reminds me, unfortunately, of this girl, Sistine Danielson. It reminds me of a story about 9 months earlier in my community where a girl died from the flu. But this girl I kind of knew. casually, and it was just a horrible story. And we want to just pray for Sistine, and yeah, please, we want to pray. And yes, Jade's a big Justin Parsley fan, and okay, yeah, I'll send it. Yes, I will take care of that, and I'll send it to the LBYW management. I have their information, and thank you. Yes, we will appreciate this. Yes, we will definitely do our best, and we want to. We're just so sorry. Really, my heart goes out to the family, and many times I've gone to, Mr. Freak in my services in the community. Before we get to you and the show, I have in my position have gone out to many wakes, unfortunately, and this one, although I didn't go to this wake, I was actually, very, very sad to hear it when I spoke to Mr. Ragnarok off the air. But we'll take care of that. We're here with the Psychotic Freak. So I got to ask you, Mr. Freak, and, trying to change gears a bit. So what is the future of the Psychotic Freak? You said, sir, that you were a free agent in that speech where you joined those North Dakota Reapers. So I ask you, what's next for the Psychotic Freak?
The story for the Psychotic Freak is about to get interesting for those that want to keep watching.
Really?
I don't want to spoil this, but just stay tuned. I have some tricks up my sleeve.
You have tricks up your sleeve. So those, we saw some tricks, I guess, or treats at the expense of those frigid Vikings, but you're saying you're far from done. I want to confirm that. You talked about this guy Comatose a little while ago. You've talked about that you still want to be maybe be the face of America, but you're done. You're not done at all. You're not. You're done. Maybe from talking on here soon, but you're not done at all from going back out and competing.
I'm not done. Well, the story for the Freak is far from over. Whether that's here or down the street.
Well, you said you don't like Bismarck, North Dakota. You have said now that you have disdain for Bismarck, North Dakota. So that means you'd have to find some other places to take your talents elsewhere.
Yeah. Maybe those other communities have more to offer than whatever this town has to offer. So,
and what do you think, though, about what you did to Queen Just Ice? You happy with what you did?
I am happy with what I did. I think she deserved it. I wish I could have done more to her. I don't think it was enough. So she wants to run it back and do another dance. I'm all game.
But that wouldn't be in an LBYW setting.
No, it wouldn't.
Well, I mean, that's obviously something. And apparently, me and him are going down to South Dakota. I mean, last I checked, that would be in the land of SBW. Now, is that a place that you have on your radar, or you don't know yet?
I don't know yet.
Don't know yet.
I'm still kind of deciding.
Because the Reapers in the past went to SBW, but you weren't one of those people that went down there, so you don't know if that's on your itinerary.
I don't know. I'm just I need to take some time and reflect on this loss before.
Have you spoken to Showtime at all since Haunted Hellfest 5? Have you said anything to him?
No, I blocked him.
Blocked him? Really? Yeah. The man that helped you on several instances, the man that helped you win those championships.
Yeah.
You've blocked him.
Yep. Gone. I don't need him. The only people I need in my life right now are Napalm, Riley Bates, the best alive in the 605, the Alpha, and obviously me.
But so you're talking to the guys regularly. Those are your guys.
Those are my guys.
And everybody else in LBYW, they can
kick rocks for all I care.
So you're happy that LBYW is finished. You've talked about the fans. You've talked about, obviously, your disdain for them. You've talked about Just Ice. You even implied that maybe LBYW had continued if the fans had been behind you rather than Just Ice. So you're happy that LBYW is just...
I am. If we want to go back, when I left, LBYW was sinking. And then I came back. It came back up again. I know. Big shocker.
Well, the Freak Math would say then that because of the Psychotic Freak, that LBYW stayed around as long as it did. Heck, we got another year plus out of LBYW because of you and your comeback, I suppose.
Yeah, we definitely got some more time out of LBYW because I came back.
So you still are reevaluating what the future is. but we're going to see you nevertheless continue because you did say that you're a free agent, that you want to go somewhere.
You are going to see the Psychotic Freak continue. Mark my words.
Mark your words. And you've had a lot tonight to say. And I do want to, for the audience, say that if you want to watch Haunted Hellfest 5, once again, please go to the LBYW YouTube page and also follow LBYW and also follow the Psychotic Freak because he is also out there on social media and you can check him out on Instagram and you can see all the content that he has to offer. And I have no doubt we'll be seeing him back on Sportzwire Radio very soon because he talked about this guy Comatose. And yeah, he's definitely not afraid of the dark. He's definitely traveling and he loves to travel. And he specifically mentioned Comatose. So, I mean, that's interesting to me. And he talked about Kurt Adams and the Wilster's going to be on here in the next week or so. And I'm sure you won't be tuning in, but you'll have sources that'll tell you about what the Wilster has to say. But I'm sure we'll have to find out, I guess. But you'll have other sources that'll tell you. So I guess before we sign off tonight, is there anything else that you want to talk about that we haven't gotten a chance to maybe cover on this rather interesting show, which you sort of answered why Freak Why?
Yeah, we definitely answered that. I don't think we have much more to talk about.
No, I think you basically said, listen, I got plenty of chapters left to write in my career.
Yep.
I'm a part of the Reapers. Obviously, we don't know what the future is for the Reapers, but I mean, you guys are a group. So, I mean, listen, whether you guys compete in the ring or not together, that doesn't stop you guys from being a group. I mean, I'm sure you guys got WhatsApp chats. I'm sure you guys have, phone calls, FaceTime, video calls. I'm sure strategy sessions. I mean, so that doesn't stop you guys from doing any of that. So that's you're entitled to do that. And you've also talked about, again, other people, other names. So I think pretty much there's a lot more ahead for the Psychotic Freak.
There definitely is. And I'm excited to see what the future holds.
I think we're all excited to see what you do and what everybody else in LBYW does. And, one more time before we get to closing thoughts, if you are here, do me a favor because I see some people who did say they hit the sub button for LBYW, but hit the sub button for them now again because you can relive LBYW footage and also the Haunted Hellfest 5, which has gotten a lot of views so far. So join us and hitting the subscribe button. And you can get notifications on maybe some other stuff out there. Who knows what LBYW does. They also have an LBYW backstage page, which maybe shows some different content, but you never know. And support that. And my friend, I'm going to pass the baton to you in a rather eventful episode. You certainly ran the gauntlet, and you don't disappoint. You always deliver. You are the Psychotic Freak, and the Freak Math will say now it's time for your closing thoughts, and take it away.
Whatever the future holds, I pray for who is on the other end of that.
You pray for them. Why? Why would you pray for somebody's that?
Look what happened to Justice.
Yeah.
Look what happened to Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Look what I did to the Wilster multiple times. If they're receiving that treatment, imagine what I'll do to someone.
Do you think we'll ever see the tag team champions again somewhere in a setting, or you think that they're done after what you did to them?
I think they're done. We haven't heard from them.
They don't want anything? They don't want any piece of you?
No, I don't think so. I think they're done.
Showtime, you blocked. Wilster, he'll give his side of the story, but you think it's all a lie. It's all an act.
Yep.
I mean, the Frigid Vikings, well, they're frozen. They're frozen, period. So there's nothing to do. They're going to be in permanent hibernation.
Yeah, they have an identity crisis anyway. So,
well, it sounds to me like I shouldn't talk anything at all ever again about them. I mean, although Wilson will have his say, but you'll continue, and that's why before we sign off one more time, please go follow the Psychotic Freak. You can check him out on Instagram. You can check him out on some other platforms. Really, Instagram is his page. If you want to book him in the ring somewhere. And maybe you're looking at you, Comatose, because you're in Roseburg, Oregon, and maybe that's a place that the Psychotic Freak has on his itinerary. That could be, and the BTW guys are here this month a couple of times, so I'm sure that they'll have something to say on that, and also support everything that this man does outside of the ring, and he won't come after you and potentially risk being in jail. But there you go. That's his Instagram. Check him out. And also, before we sign off one more time, we will give this to management. It is Sistine Danielson Day, and Sistine, we miss you and thank you, and we will continue to honor your legacy. And yeah, no, I think Justin Parsley will be a little bit more really wild than you. Let's just put it that way. He's going to really have some wild things to say. I heard Wild and Out, I think, is coming to an end, but Justin Parsley won't disappoint. And yeah, we'll leave that at that. But yeah, he'll be here Thursday at 9 o'clock. I hope to be here for it. Maybe you'll tune in, maybe you not. But nevertheless, my friend, thank you. Yes, but yes, God bless Sistine. We want to say God bless you, Sistine, and we miss you. And we will make sure to get this to the proper authorities. And we're glad the Hall of Fame monitor approves. And we're very much looking forward to him returning Thursday night. We have a slew of IMF talents here. We have Mr. Parsley on Thursday, Il Drago Saturday, and this guy Anthony Steele on Sunday. Yeah, that'll be live. It'll be a live. Reminds me of a Van Halen live album, live without a net. And yeah, we won't need a net to stop these guys from talking. They're just some of the greats on this platform. But my friend, thank you as always. Looking forward to seeing you back on here in the next few weeks. And we definitely had a real conversation. And I'm sure that we'll predict it, that you'll be back on and we'll have plenty to say about some of the other things you talked about.
Yes, we will.
Thank you so much, everybody. That is the Psychotic Freak. He is now from the North Dakota Reapers. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. You have voice figuratively and literally where all music and wrestling matters. If you're here on Sportzwire Radio with the sub button for us, I may or may not be here tomorrow. It is election day, and I will be a part of that because my co-host Wednesday nights, where I do news, Mr. Heshy Tischler is on the ballot. So I may be on, I may not be, but we'll be back at some point, depending on how we feel, to Wednesday afternoon. But until then, thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and good morning, good afternoon, and, well, we'll see about that. That's we'll have to find out, but thank you, everybody, for tuning in. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one Global Radio.